Welcome back, mages of all colors. This is Jimothy the Blue back with you. We are going to be playing a Fiddle Bender modern deck. This is from Aspiringspike. I did just take his list, but I'll go ahead and talk about it here. If you haven't seen it before, you aren't familiar with who Fiddle Bender is or what he does, I'll talk through that. If not, you can skip forward to the gameplay. So Oswald Fiddle Bender is a 2-cost legendary creature with an ability. He's a 2/2, but pay 1 white, tap him, sack an artifact. You search your library for artifact equal to that one's mana value plus 1. You put it directly on the battlefield, only as a sorcery. Obviously, sorcery speed means there's a lot of cool tricks that we can't do, but it is still a very powerful effect. Essentially, a birthing pod for artifacts stuck on a creature. Because of Mox Opal and things like Darksteel Citadel and the Baubles, we can sometimes get Fiddlebender out as early as turn 1, pretty often by turn 2. We have our Citadels, our Baubles, and other Opals that we can sack for 0 to go get 1-drops, which include our Sentinels, Portable Holes, and then these 1-ofs down here. Obviously, answer to graveyard stuff. Great at giving Fiddlebender haste and ward sometimes, or obviously sticking it on a construct token before the saga gets to chapter 3. Chromatic Star is kind of like the value play where you, by having it out, you'll get to sack it the next turn and draw a card. Our 2-mana artifacts are pretty limited, but Greaves is our combo piece, Ichor Wellspring is our value piece, Spellskite is a protect ourselves piece. I'll talk about the combo in a minute. And then for 3 mana, right, once we sack ideally Ichor Wellspring or the Spellskite, we can go get Halo Fountain, which allows you to, you have to have another creature in play, like, you know, Stormforge, Sentinel, or Smith. An Ingenious Smith. It allows you to create a 1/1 green-white creature token. And the untapping of Oswald is why it's in here. Does that make sense? So that first ability, sorry. You have to have an extra. You have to have mana to make the combo happen on like 1 turn. But the combo is when you have Greaves and Crackdown Construct, you can make an infinitely large construct because you activate Greaves over and over again. It's kind of like Nadu. Notably, you do have to have 2 creatures out. You have to have Construct plus another creature. But obviously, if we're getting it, we have Oswald out, so you can switch the Greaves back and forth because it gives Shroud, so it can't target itself. So the Halo Fountain allows you to like just turn the Wellspring or the Spellskite, assuming you already have Greaves out, into the combo in 1 turn. You go get Halo, you make the token, you untap Oswald, you sack the Halo Fountain to go get the Crackdown Construct, and then you just, you know, activate Greaves a million times. So the other kind of combo in here, or more of a synergy, is that you have Stoneforges with Cauldra or Nettlecyst. Nettlecyst is obviously a pretty big threat that we can also pay to move around because between the Portable Holes, Sentinels, a Mox Opal, Construct tokens, the Darksteel Citadels, if we don't have a Fiddlebender out, we usually are pretty good about getting out a lot of artifacts, so Nettlecyst gets pretty big. Obviously, Cauldra is also in a decent place right now in Modern. Solitude is still out there for sure, and Sink into Stupor can bounce the token, but there are less answers overall. There are less Leyline Bindings and Solitudes than there used to be. Cauldra and Stoneforge used to kind of be a premium threat and then died down. I feel like they're kind of on the upswing now as far as like their effectiveness. I think this deck is good as long as Portable Hole and Dispatch are good. And right now, because Portable Hole can hit Frogs and Dispatch can hit Oculus, and then they both hit everything in the energy decks. Notably, Dispatch exiles, Portable Hole exiles. So less things go to the graveyard to fuel their Flage, or Dispatch can hit a Flage that's resolved. Being able to kind of, turn an extra land into a Portable Hole to answer a threat with Oswald is great. The Smith becomes its own threat as well as digging to find more artifacts. It's pretty good. It's a synergistic deck. Playing a lot of basics is great right now in Modern. There aren't a lot of decks that can afford to do that. And then in our sideboard, we get to play just a bunch of 1-ofs mostly that we can take advantage of with Oswald and find with... Oh, sorry. My MTGO decided to move this around. Sword of Feast of Fanning is an interesting one. It's one that we can fetch with Oswald or Stoneforge, right? But it's really good against the Yawgmoth decks, which otherwise would be hard for this deck to break through, right? The combo basically is never going to work because they have a lot of blockers. Torpor Orb is great at shutting off things. Damping Sphere we have a bunch of. It's really our only hope against Amulet is getting a turn 1 or 2 Damping Sphere. But it's also effective against the Ugin's Lab and Tron decks, or Storm, obviously. The other thing is playing a deck that gets to take advantage of Relic is nice. Most decks can't. Most decks play the Soul Guide Lantern because they're trying to use their own graveyard. We don't care about our graveyard for anything in this deck, so we can just exile everything, which is great. Multiple Needles, obviously needed against the Belchers and other such things. Orvar is here for the creativity. I haven't seen it as much. Spike has been seeing it more. The 4th portable hole. So anyways, we can take out the Halo Fountain and the Crackdown Construct, which are pretty bad outside of the combo. Sideboard them out against decks where it's probably not going to work. But Saga is also just a premium threat in this list. I did play a match earlier, but we'll jump into match 2. I had a very close 3 games with Dimir. Game 2 I managed to beat a turn 2 Frog, turn 3 Oculus, which was fun. Game 3 I lost because of a niche ruling. So something you might not remember is that flipping cards up cannot be responded to in any way, shape, or form. So, if you're playing an Urza Saga deck and you know your opponent is playing Harbinger of the Tides, which I saw in Game 2, and they have cards manifested in 3 mana up, you should not wait to make your token, you should just make your token. Because what happened is they flipped up Harbinger and I can't respond to it, or Urza Saga just disappeared, and, that's just one of those things where it's like normally like they cast it, you can respond, right? But you can't respond to like a morph or a manifest being flipped up. It doesn't count as like a responding action. So it's a state-based like flip. Anyways, it's weird. It's a weird effect. You don't get enter the battlefield triggers. You also can't respond to it. We're against Nox Bad Boy. He's on the play. I don't think we're keeping a 4-land hand. I don't know. We can answer, any early threat. We have Graveyard Hate and we have Ramp, but I think we want to have some sort of action. This awkwardly doesn't have, it has 1 white mana on turn 2. It has some redraws though. I think we'll risk it. If we top deck a white source, this hand's pretty good. If we top deck a Mox Opal, it's great. Because we can Sentinel turn 1. Well, it seems like we're playing against a slower, grindier deck. That is like one of 2 cards we definitely didn't want to draw. So we'll play out our Chromatic Star. I think we're going to just bobble draw here. I don't think we're going to hold on to it. Because we really need a white source, obviously, for this hand to be functional. We can draw an extra card and make a white source next turn. So like we can get Oswald down if we draw any land. But ideally we draw a white land. Might just be a Tarn out of the Hollow One deck. This might be setting up for a big turn 2. If they are going, oh no, it's Frog Grixis Oculus, or is it Hollow One with? I've seen Hollow One lists with Frog now. If it's Frog, we get to Portable Hull it, assuming they're not also a Force of Negation. Wow, we're really good at drawing. Okay, well we got a land. It is not a white source. I guess we could have held off on playing this, but I do want to get it in play. I'm debating going Oswald. The problem is I can't activate him, so I guess he's not worth it. So I think it is just Portable Hull is our best play here. It stops him from drawing extra cards. Yeah, I don't think there's any real debate there. Obviously, in a normal, if I had another white land here, I would want to play out Esper Sentinel as well, or just play out the Oswald if I had a land, because I could turn this Darksteel Citadel into a Portable Hull, as well as play the Portable Hull next turn. Like maybe I let him draw 1 card, but that's where we're at. We've awkwardly drawn. The deck only plays like arguably 3 cards that you only want in the deck. Like I want Cauldron in the deck for Stoneforge, I want this in the deck for the combo, and I want construct. I don't even know its name. Crackdown construct. I'm fine even drawing the Nettlecyst. So it's like there are 3 cards in the deck I don't want to draw, and I've drawn 2 of them. So this is a clunky hand, clunky draw. It is what it is. It is just Grixis Oculus. Seems like they're a little more all in on the Unearth plan with Philogis. Probably only on maybe 1 Force main, couple in the sideboard, I'd assume. They're trying to decide what to take. I mean, Oswald is probably the take, or one of the Espers. He takes the Halo Fountain. That's funny. This is one instance where this isn't true. Typically, when you Thoughtseize a deck and you see a card that you have no idea like why it would be in there and it has a weird effect, like, okay, this does weird things, you usually take that card because it's like, well, this is part of a combo. So he's like, not wrong that this is part of a combo, but it's wrong to take in this instance because it's completely useless. So here we have some options. We either make a construct token, which is pretty good and doesn't use any more of our resources in our hand. If we make Oswald, I don't want to sack this. I don't really want to sack this or this because we're going to lose this. And we don't really need another portable hole. We'd probably just be getting a Sentinel anyway. I think we're just going to make a construct. And this isn't an instance where we can get surprise Harbingers. They're probably not Harbinger because they're a 3-color deck, not the 2-color deck. So, but we can respond to it when they cast it. You just can't respond to it when they flip it up. So yeah, that's how I lost game 3. Well, that and we were both top decking, and I had him like I had lethal threat 3 turns in a row, and he drew Sink of the Stupor for my Germ token, push, and what was the last thing he drew? Oh, it's an Archon. Persist. So it was more all in, not necessarily on Unearth, but persist. Okay. We awkwardly are going to get Relic next turn. I don't want to respond to this because he's going to make us sack the construct token. So our Relic's going to come in just too late to stop this. I guess we'll drop one of the Sentinels. Do we have an out? We can get Dispatch as an out. Okay, I can make another token, go get a Mox Opal, and use that to dispatch the Archon. Leaves us with 2 pretty big threats. The other option is just tap for mana, go get Spear. I think I'd rather have multiple threats. Because they probably are playing pushes. So we need this because we're not drawing a mana source this turn. Not gonna wait on this. No more persisting that. I assume this just get chumped this turn, but this allows us to present lethal pretty quick. We're in an awkward place if they remove this hole somehow. Like Sink into Stupor, I guess. We can recast it, but yeah, interesting. If I'd gone Shadow Spear, I would have gotten I would have gotten like 1 or 2 points in. I would have gained some life. The gaining life would be great, but then it's like if they had removal, even just a Sink into Stupor for 1 token, I'd be toast. Whereas here, yes, I have double removal. Even another Archon doesn't kill me, although I'd need to find a answer real quick. What's 4 mana? Is this Murktide, maybe? Are you also playing Murktide? No, oh, this was tapped, sorry. Yep. Silly Oculus. Well, we just have to play 1 artifact to get ours big enough to swing in, but the Manifest Dread is very frustrating in the grindy matchups. We Drew the dispatch. Right on time. Yeah. I'm like, you know, I do kind of just want to get another artifact out there. I want an Esper Sentinel out there. It would give us a lot of value, but we can't afford to just let them keep manifesting. So then we got one card in hand. They still have an Archon in the graveyard. They have a Looting in the graveyard. And they have the Oculus. So a Persist or an Unearth is great for them. Hopefully we get a turn to deploy this Esper Sentinel and start getting some value. Again, based on this hand, what we've drawn and stuff, Oswald isn't really that great. I don't really want to sack this Citadel. I want mana sources and I want artifacts. I could turn it into like a Mox Opal, but I already have one, so. Heyo. So I guess we're just deploying both. Anyway, it's not really a reason to hold on to them. Next one, I could turn the Sentinel into drawing some cards, or... Well, this is lethal, so he has to have removal. What does he have here? Sink? Yep. He's going to pay for it, I assume. Yep, that is why we made multiple construct tokens. We're still presenting a good threat. It's a decent top deck for them as far as answers go, though. Cauldron is just really clunky. In sack a 1-drop, I can go get Acre Wellspring. I can't get that. Lightning Greaves only gives one thing, Shroud, but it might be worth giving this Shroud. He discarded an Unearth, which means that he draw the Persist. I drew another Unearth. Yep, that's efficient. That's efficient right there. Shoot. So I do think now we want to go get the Graves, probably on the Sentinel, because we want to try to. We can't make the combo in one turn or whatever, but we drew the Acre Wellspring. That's actually not too shabby. Because now I can sack this and get a Nettle Cyst. I believe is our only 3. I don't have enough to get the Nettle Cyst and equip it to something else, unfortunately. But we get to draw some cards here. Which is nice. Get to see the grindy. Grinding against an Oculus is hard though. Attack with this, he can't kill it by double drop blocking here, so any block that kills it involves the Oculus. I'm 1 mana short of being able to equip the Sentinel, which I would love, because then I get to draw a card every time he casts his first spell, because this is huge, but yeah, so we're not swinging with the Sentinel, we're going to swing with this. I assume he just chumps with the Manifest token. Yeah. We're sitting here with 2 lethal threats. We're kind of Archon proof at this point. They have 0 cards in hand, so their lootings in the bin are pretty useless. This can make an 8/8 though, but it dies to my token. The Kiora does, not the 8/8. And then the Oculus can swing in, but we are at a decent amount of life. Sentinel taxing them, or are they going to try to keep up 2 mana? Because I feel like Persist is one of their best cards right now. If they get Archon plus Kiora attack, it does put us at a pretty tight place. We've already burned through 2 dispatches, so. Purple Hole isn't actually as great against this. I mean, it's great against Frog, so we're going to keep it in. But discarded Looting and Mire. So what did he keep in his hand? If he got a push, he can push the Germ, which is a problem. Okay, he's going aggressive. So he has to have removal here, right? I feel like this is just we win if he doesn't have removal. He gets the Manifest token. I have 2 lethal attackers plus these 2. 3, 4, 5. I'm going to be at 6 mana. I'm only one short of Cauldron. If I can draw exactly an opal, we could get there. If he didn't cost mana to activate, I could get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, I miscounted. So I swing with both of these. He has to block. I wish there was a way to turn this 1 into 2. I'm just going to take a screenshot so I don't keep looking here to remind me of like what cards I have in my deck. It's funny we have one where the Orvars are going to be relevant. So I could sack a 0-drop, which just allows me to get another Sentinel. Oh no, I can portable hold this. So if I portable hold that, and he doesn't have removal, we're good. I don't want to move this. I want to keep that as a lethal threat, I think. That's fine. And I'm just going to swing with the team. I'm not blocking with Esper Sentinel, and he has to remove one, chump another. Yeah, okay. He had Psychic Frog. Okay. I don't know why. He was just making us attack. I was like playing around things that weren't there. I think we cut. Yeah, I think we cut this. I don't know that Spellskite is super worth it in this matchup. I don't think they're playing bolts or heats. We obviously want our relics of Progenitises. Torpor orbs are great. Stops the looting on Kiora and the Archon triggers. I think we still want these. Purple Heart's hard because like it saved us there. We kind of needed it against Frog, but it doesn't hit Kiora or the Oculus. So I want some number of them. I want the Sentinels. Maybe I'm honestly just trimming on Fiddlebenders. Or am I trimming on Mystic? Out of my 2-drops. I want to keep the Smith because it digs for the relics. We're probably going to need more than one Shadow Spear. I think it might just be Mystics. They're a little clunky anyway. And just cut the Cauldron. Because, I mean, it was rotten in our hand that whole game anyway. Something like that. 2 of them can still, I mean, Nettlesis is still good. Still grab Greaves or the Boots or the Spear. So, like, I feel like 2 is fine. Do we want Ethersworn, Damping Sphere, Pithing Needle? I don't think Needle really affects anything in their deck. Sorry. Let's look real quick. It's not Grixis Morktide, is it? But just to give an idea of what they could have in the sideboard. Meltdowns and Consigns. I don't think there's anything we want to Needle. I'm trying to remember if they have anything. Took out 2 of those, 1 hole. Expensive cards, and we're playing these and these. Okay. I think we keep a turn 1 relic. Opal's online pretty quick in this hand. As in turn 1, we can relic plus Sentinel. Or relic and hold up. Probably just hold up. We'll see what they do turn 1. If they turn 1 looting, we're probably just going to relic hold up activation. But if they turn 1 Thoughtseize us, we're probably playing out the Sentinel. Yeah, they loot. I guess if they don't put any creatures in the graveyard, we might not. But I assume we're going to see some creatures. So they play Persist and Unearth. Yeah. This is definitely a relic hold-up situation. We show down and hold up. Unless they obviously have a force here, we're in pretty good shape. Don't think they really play it though. Do this now. They're gonna just exile the Delta, but they're gonna be like, haha, I'm gonna persist this Archon. JK, I got the Mox Opal. So obviously, like I said, if they hadn't put the Archon, we'd probably honestly any creature. We probably hold up Opal. Except for maybe Kiora, maybe I let them have that. They wouldn't get the 8/8. Okay, we're doing it now. To be fair, we have lost a relic relatively early in the game, and we only hit 1 Archon, 1 Frog. When we burned through 1 Unearth. They play probably 4 Persist, 3 more Unearth. They have more Archons, more, like, the game is not over for them. It's not a one and done situation. Luckily, with this Mox Opal's on again next turn, I think we're probably gonna just Sentinel. I'm trying to think of what's better. Maybe we Smith to find another relic. That's probably our best bet. Yeah. Sentinel is like the better value play, but we're not really trying to value right here. Awkwardly, we're putting a dispatch on the bottom, which is unfortunate. I'm going to take this because I can play it this turn. And I'd rather... Shadow Spear is fine, but I want to have another white source out there. Because I've drawn my Dark Steels. Put another Dark Steel on the bottom, which is fine, but losing that dispatch is going to be rough. I think this Archon's likely to come into play, so we're going to lose the Smith anyway. Yeah. We had a decent chance to hit a relic there. The problem is we wouldn't be able to activate it anyway. Like, we would just exile one card of their choice, so we kind of didn't have them that turn. It might have been better to play the Sentinel and hope to draw a card and that card be dispatched, which it might have been, which is unfortunate. Stoneforge doesn't really get anything we care about at this stage. So yeah, now we really need a dispatch, don't we? Can play out 2 creatures. 3 creatures. If this sees another dispatch, I'll be mad. Well, unlucky. I don't think we win this game. Going to game 3 most likely. We know 2 dispatch are on the bottom 10 cards, so they had Unearth Frog plus Persist Archon on turn 2 and 3 is pretty good lines to overcome a relic. To be fair, we also had turn 1 relic activation, which is pretty good, but not good enough. Don't think we need the land. So we hope to draw some cards off the Esper Sentinels and maybe just get lucky with another dispatch. Other than that, I think we just concede next turn. Technically, they're 1 away from killing us, but like I don't think we're sticking around. They're drawing extra cards, we're discarding cards and losing creatures every turn, so we're not going to win this race. What are they playing for this? Pyroclasm? Pyroclasm would be very effective. Meltdown. I could play both. Yeah. I guess we'll take 1 draw for dispatch. 2 draws technically. Because we have the Wellspring. Dispatch? No. Dispatch? No. Cards just didn't quite line up for us. There's a Torpor Orb too. Spellsky can't eat that trigger, can it? Yeah, I think we got the right cards. Maybe one another portable hole for the. Also, I mean, if we had one of our Orvars in hand, that would have been great. Forge is just too slow, I think. Just go all in on cheap. Maybe I'll take one needle. Here's why. I might get lucky and be able to turn off a couple lands with it. I think we keep a relic hand into Torpor Orb. I think that's probably one of our better lines against this deck. Do I read on? We just lead here. Some debate to do this, but because I'm not fiddle bendering next turn, I think I can go colorless into Saga and just try to get token beatdowns as fast as possible. Look, it's a relic and it has Progenitus on it. Being on the play is obviously a big upside too, so you know, winning game 1 was good. If we're gonna lose a game, it's game 2 makes sense. Exile that land. Doesn't really make a difference. It's the one they would exile if we waited till the end step anyway. Turn 1 looting. I mean, that's their best play. Okay. Then we have the debate of, do we just Torpor Orb or hold up Relic? And that's where, if they have Archon, we'll Torpor Orb. Well, thinking about it. Thinking. No. They still end up with a 5/5 flyer out of that, even without the trigger, and the attack trigger still happens. So, it's Oculus, which is definitely one where we want to hold up Relic activation. Luckily, our deck decided to give us another 1-drop, which is great. Although I would love for this to be another Relic, because with just double Relic activations, we could probably be fine. But another effect's good because it makes our construct tokens bigger, which is our win con that we have right now. So yeah, if they go to Unearth, we activate Relic. Similar to last game so far, but we're hoping this can get another Relic. Maybe I should have led on Saga just because they can get other Relics and Mox Opals when we need them. Doesn't beat that, unfortunately. That's where we need to draw a portable hole. How about a Darksteel Citadel? It's hard because I want Saga, but I think I need to get Fiddlebender out because I can turn a Citadel into a portable hole. Can't afford to give him. I want to give him Ward, but I don't think we can win if we let this Oculus resolve via Unearth, so we're holding up Relic. Our Oswald is just out there. And the breeds, they can't really jump the frog, but they only have to discard 1 card to kill our Fiddlebender, so I don't think we're blocking. They want to discard a card, so. Yeah, you get to draw your extra card. Here we go. Apparently I'm destined to only face Dimir Frogulus. To be fair, it's probably the most played deck. Most played card in Modern right now. Hey, buddy. I think Mommy went to take a shower, and then she went downstairs. You want to find Mommy? Go look downstairs. Well, they got the Unearth, so we, holding up Relic was correct there. We draw our 3rd Saga. Really want an answer to this frog, but we have one now. Lightning Greaves is interesting. I can't afford to make the token, unfortunately. I think we're just getting the Mox Opal because we want more white sources. Or do I want to get... Can needle the Scalding Tarn. That's part of why I threw it in here, is just to sometimes be a land destruction. So I have Portable Hull already. I can sack a Citadel. Play another Saga. Because we don't need the Opal. But Relic might just be the smartest chance to stop other shenanigans. I think that's correct. That's more correct than trying to cheese away their Scalding Tarn. I think we'll play out the Lightning Greaves. Maybe I should have done that first. I don't know why they're surveilling before this resolves, but maybe they want to discard a card. Yep. Pile the Greaves. Equip the Greaves, because there's no reason not to. Put another Saga. Get that going so that this can hopefully be our threat. Also, it lets us hold up a mana so that they can't persist this Archon. So I've beaten one on Earth, one Frog. That was pretty rough loot right there. I mean, they got Faithless Looting, I suppose. That's just more loot. Looting for days over there. We are up almost 5 minutes on clock, so playing faster with this deck than we were Battle of Wits, at least. Though Battle of Wits was fun. I've been actually trying to make a Mox Opal Battle of Wits deck, but you know, kind of like Affinity mashed with a Fiddlebender mashed with Urzathopter. It's a lot easier than I thought to come up with 240 cards that deal with artifacts and have affinity, and so it's really trying to pick which cards to cut and keep in. It's that you don't just have like some 2/2s and 4/4. You know, like if you keep Frogmites and Mirror whatever's in there and you just have 4/4s, it's just like that doesn't actually do anything in Modern when you can't consistently do it early enough. We essentially just have to always leave 1 mana up for Relic, which is frustrating because we want to start activating Sagas. So I might not play the second Saga because I want to get up enough mana to actually activate Saga and keep 1 mana open. I guess their stuff is at least sorcery speed, so I can wait till their end step to make a token. Do I want to... I can turn the Bauble into another relic. Can also grab the Pithing Needle. Doesn't do anything. I already have the boots. I could get a Shadow Spear as well. Or I could just draw a card. I could make a token and swing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's why I wish I didn't have to hold up 1 mana all the time, but I'm gonna bobble. I'm just gonna do this. They are drawing a persist. Good to know. I could swing, I guess, but not. So we're likely gonna have to pop this relic, unless I draw Orvar right now. Nope. Turbo Orb stops Philology and Kiora, which is nice. It does also stop our ingenious smiths. At least the trigger, and it stops the Stoneforge trigger, which makes sense why we took Stoneforge out. This is Oculus plus Persist. That's going to be rough. Because we know they have a Persist in hand. And it seems like we're getting Oculus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They leave just the 1, of course. They fetch and go for Persist. No. So I could pop this, but I think I want to make a threat that is bigger than Oculus. Well, same as Oculus. Do this before they manifest Dread. I think, oh, they can fetch in response. 1, it's only their second one. Okay. So we still have to leave up a mana for Persist. I could play and turn the Darksteel Citadel into another relic, I suppose. A lot of options here. I think we want to get this Shadow Spear going. If I make a token now, I only have colorless mana, I can't use him, but I can go get a Mox Opal. I think that's what we want to do. Do this, get an Opal. Play this. Can opal this into another relic. No. Let's just keep it for this. Play out the Shadow Spear. Can't equip it this turn. But we can equip this. I don't think there's anything we can get that makes this better, right? Just trying to think. Another relic doesn't help. We want to hold up our relic activation. We could change the Lightning Greaves into a Nettle Cyst, but that doesn't really help because, again, then this one didn't have haste anymore. I think this is the play. Swing for 18. I mean, we're at much higher life. We're kind of insulated against an Archon. We have multiple ways to deal with it. He has a chump block with both. I mean, his Manifest Dread tokens do a good job of blocking, but we can make another token next turn. All the while we've been holding up relic. We can go get another relic with this Saga. Yeah, it kind of has to block both. Does fill his graveyard up. Do we want to just activate relic now? No, we want to waste the source. We want to waste this. You can hit us for 5, but we're ahead on life and on board. The token we make can have haste as well. And then we just give one of them trample and we're good to go, right? Oh, Meltdown can get us. I don't really have a way of stopping Meltdown, do I? Yeah. He has the Meltdown. Oh, shoot. Can't respond to this, at least. Wow, we go from having such a good board to nothing. And he gets the frog back. Well, I think that's probably game. We don't really have any outs to Meltdown, do we? No. think there was a way I could have... Even if I had somehow gotten another attack, another attacker in, he would just be at like 3 life right now. Like I didn't have a way to kill him that turn. I don't have any way of getting these back. Making a token. I mean, it's only what, a 2/2 now, and doesn't have flying. I think we just want the mana. I think I get opal. Or try to like Smith. Doesn't hit dispatch. Really, our best bet right now is dispatch. So I'll get Bobble. I think. Draw another frog. Turn this into a portable hole. Wish that we could hit the Oculus. Needle Frog. Play the Smith. I guess Smith is better. We're gonna see his dispatch, and I'm gonna be like, dang, I really wish I could have drawn that. Yep. Well, it is what it is. Maybe it's better because we haven't seen a dispatch yet to just play the needle out and hope to draw it that next turn. We're dead to it in 3 turns, though. Didn't draw that. There's still 3 more and 20 cards, 28 cards or something. This kind of becomes a threat eventually. Star, at least, we can like cycle into something. Probably just Ichor Wellspring. There's only 2 drop left, right? Torpor Orb was not felt good, but our other options weren't necessarily like better. Like if it was a Stoneforge, we would have just gotten this earlier, I guess. We didn't really have a turn to play it anyway, or we would have just to have another artifact out. So he manifests that. Discards the persist. Swing. Draws cards. Makes a 2/2. Man. Oculus plus Frog, man. Just ruining all the fun of every deck. And you only need like $180 to play Oculus online. Such a dumb card. I don't know how I thought this was like good design. It should be ETB, Manifest Dread. And then the rest of it is like, okay. Still really, really strong. And it should honestly just cost 4 mana. By making it cost 3 and be targetable by Unearth, it just pushed it way over the top. And the manifesting every turn is insane. There's just nothing like this in Modern. There's nothing like this in Modern. And energy can't even keep up with it. Like, this is the deck keeping energy out from being just the most dominant thing. Because nothing can... It's the only thing that can stop energy. Even Flage can't deal with Oculus Frog. I guess we're gonna draw, but now we can't even like cast a dispatch if we draw it. There's Orvar, 3 years later. Hoping to draw exactly like dispatch plus white source. If we could only dispatch this, we were gonna die to frogs anyway. Yeah. Nothing. Good game, opponent. Are we technically just dead on bird? 5 plus 2, we can only vote, yeah. Bummer, opponent also ate 4 extra minutes of clock time. Didn't quite get there. 2 very similar matches. Obviously, you guys missed one. Comrade Froggy. Oh no, just Foggy. Comrade Foggy. This isn't a turn 1 Oswald. But it's a pretty early one. We can leave the star out to sack. So it's not terrible. It's keepable to kill the first Oswald, and we have a second one. We're on the play, so. We really wanted a artifact there. But it is what it is. Smith is pretty good next turn into, like, whether we can draw a Darksteel Citadel or any land can cast an artifact off of Smith because it's very likely to hit a 0 or 1 drop artifact. Or we just draw an artifact naturally. Either way, it should be pretty easy to turn on Mox Opal, use the Opal to sack the star, and probably just go get. Look at this. Betcha we're against Oculus and Frog again. 3 for 3. Stoneforge. This is guaranteed. This isn't guaranteed. But this can only get the 1 drop. I didn't hit a land, so I have to hit a 0 drop artifact, right? Could sack this. And hope to hit a oh no, the one I wanted. That's stinky. I was like, oh, I was gonna get extra draws, but now I don't get extra draws. I guess we'll do this. Kills it in response. And I cry because I have drawn terribly again. I obviously have game against these decks, but it feels really clunky when we have all our 2 drops in hand. I mean, the deck's playing, let's see, we have 15 2 drops, so we have equal 2 drops to 1 drops, but then we have 8 0 drops. And like I said, only like 3 cards we don't want to draw. In that last match, game 1, I drew all those cards that I didn't want to draw. This match, I'm drawing all my 2 drops. I guess I probably should just Smith, but I wanted to go get the Ichor Wellspring and draw another card, and then set up to go get Nettle Cyst or Halo Fountain. Well, they didn't hit an Oculus, which is nice. This is the straight Dimir version, so they're probably going to have Harbinger in the side. Not Persist, not Archon. Wow, we are. You can't get a 0 drop. This one can, so. Hopefully we just hit a Darksteel Citadel, honestly. And then we'll just cast the Ichor Wellspring, most likely. My opponent disconnected. Hmm. Interesting. Or just tell me how often this is played in Modern. $480. Whereas Ocelot 600. Yikes. Counterspell. Okay. Well, that's what we're doing. Dancing in the dark. Thoughtscar again? Here I come in with my 2/2 legend. Can't kill him. Our dispatches are not online. I guess we're just casting Ichor Wellspring next turn. I don't, really hoping to hit a Darksteel Citadel off this Ingenious Smith. becomes a threat and digs for what we need, so it's been great. Oculus. Liliana of the Veil. Okay. Did not expect it to not minus on me. Gonna have to attack it, huh? Man, this is awkward. Let's just get another artifact in play. Please don't spell snare me. Wow. Where were you last game? If I had just drawn 3 dispatches, we would have been golden girls. I think I might just... I can't... I really wanted to get this card, but I can't because our deck is really good at making us draw the card we're about to use. Won't be able to activate that, but I might just go get it. I have to be able to activate it, really, in order to... I might as well just swing. Guess I have dispatch up. Man. Yeah, imagine if we had just drawn these dispatches and had them sit in our hand against the Oculus deck last game. Would have been grand. Instead we had Torpor Orb and Pithing Needle sitting in our hand. Pithing Needle is good against Liliana. Probably bring in one there. They have Harbinger's Mane, good to know. Psychic Frog. Unearth on the frog, or maybe... I mean, Harbinger doesn't even do anything against this. There's a Froggy. Froggy 101. I guess we'll just get rid of the extra fiddly. I have 2 cards in hand, so hopefully this resolves. Nice. Now I think... I'm not sure because we have Lightning Greaves on him. How does it work with Halo Fountain? It doesn't say a target tap creature, so untap the creature, make the token. So yeah, I think we have enough mana. I should have used the Mox Opal since it's off while this is happening. Well, let's see if they have instant speed removal. Lightning Greaves. We gonna activate this so many times all night long. They figured it out. Okay, I was like, I mean, a Fatal Push obviously would have been great there. So, do we keep the combo in? I don't know. I don't know if our opponent didn't understand that they could target us with Liliana. Like, they just like, well, he has Shroud, I can't target. And like, because they could have just -2 Liliana on us, but they insisted on plussing her. I think Orvar is pretty good against Liliana, right? Causes you to create a token that's a copy of target permanent. So it's any permanent. Yeah, we definitely want Orvars against Liliana. We'll bring in one Needle. Sword seems pretty good. They're more heavy on black. I don't know. This one seems more all in on Frog. And we want relics. What are we cutting? Spellskite's probably fine. I can't minus. I've seen him cut the boots as well. And then the combo. With 4 cuts. The Cauldron is actually pretty bad into Liliana. I want my cheap things. I want all my artifacts. I still want fiddly benders. So I think we're doing this. A little Orvar on Cauldron would be awesome. But hopefully, I think our opponent knows how to -2 Lily. Awkwardly, we have Stoneforge and Nettlecyst in our hand, but I like that we have Darksteel plus Plains and we have a portable hole. That's very confusing. I don't know that our opponent. Maybe they're new to Modern. Huh. Color me confused. I didn't do anything that uses the graveyard. So I'm legitimately confused as to why you would bring in Leyline on the Void. There's been times where people have brought in Leyline against me and I'm like, well, that's, bad against me and I only use the graveyard for 1 card. But it kind of made sense because that's the card that beat him, right? Like sometimes you beat him with a Eternal Witness and it's like, well, that's not actually how my deck wins. But in this instance, I don't know. I just don't understand. Maybe they're playing Bridge from Below and I didn't see it. I don't know. Except that's banned in Modern. Should be unbanned soon though. Seems like they're, instead of banning Oculus and Ocelot or Guide of Souls and Flage, they're just gonna unban more stuff and say Modern gets to be the new legacy. That seems to be the way they're leaning. So I've already bought sets of a bunch of banned Modern cards because I think so far their test of unbanning has gone well because nothing that they unbanned has been as strong as the new cards that they're pushing. Faithless Looting is only great because it powers out Oculus. It's not actually too strong for it. Yeah, we'll do this. Let's hope that they just jam a Liliana next turn. I'm not sure, honestly, even what we make a copy of. Probably their Liliana. Makes their frogs really bad against us. Gotta push this. Hey, that was a lot of planes we didn't want to draw, so hey, I'm fine with that. I get to buff it up right away. Draw a card on their turn. Yeah, not a bad turn too. We're setting up for a grindy game, so having kind of a grindy hand is fine. Again, this is awkward, but we can just play it out and then just put the Nettlecyst out. We don't have to use it. Anything else? Put up Counterspell into the graveyard. Oh, I meant to do this upkeep. This is Oculus. Feels like an Oculus. I might just keep the Bauble out because I want my Dispatch online. Yeah. Murky Tide. Well, this is really bad against that. Yeah, so we'll leave the Bauble out. We want to draw any of our artifacts in the deck. I think absolutely every artifact that's left we can cast. Because I took out Halo, Cauldra, and Crackdown. Yeah. Hey-oo. It's a spear. I guess we couldn't cast them all plus Dispatch, right? But counters this, we're actually in trouble. Consign to memory. Okay. Portable hole, nothing to turn on our dispatches next turn. Fortunately, it's probably our best line here. I don't think we can afford not to. What? Look at that. We just got rid of a Murktide and a Force Negation. I mean, I don't... It's one of those instances where, like, I don't think that's ever correct, but it does kind of stop us right now. Like, it's just awkwardly like, you're not doing it right, but it's working, so it's hard to tell you you're not doing it right. Yeah. Prelate can power up their Murktide more. Based on the fact maybe they just thought Portable Hole could hit Murktide. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. What's happening now? They're pushing it. They got one card in hand. What are the chances it's exactly Counterspell? 3,000%. Nope. Okay. So we're both top decking, except I have 4 cards in hand. A relic. And he has Leyline out. I don't think I'm going to activate Bobble because I want to keep this dispatch online for now. We really want to get to 3 mana, but next turn, if nothing else, we can at least play the Stoneforge out. Go get... We can't even get Shadow Spear, right? They don't. We only have one other target in the deck. Lightning Greaves. Still have the one card in hand. I wonder what it is. I wonder if they just took out Liliana's or only play like one of them and got us with the Orvar. That's what they do. They play one of them to throw you off. I think that this is just better than playing Stoneforge on average. Now they have Counterspell. They brought in Consigns, which aren't actually that great against us. Which is hard to say that, yes, we play a lot of artifacts, but it's like, do you really want to consign opals, baubles, and I guess the one Nettlecyst? We'll keep their graveyard emptier. Just because they play Oculus and Murktide, so we're keeping them out of Oculus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think they could do Murktide. Or no, they need one more for Murktide. Okay. They've seen enough. We're going to finally draw the Darksteel. Okay. So we've gone Nettlecyst into Beats after that point. Well, we beat an Oculus Frog deck after losing to Oculus Frog decks twice. I'm going to sign off for now just based on time, but the deck definitely feels strong. And like I said, these matches were very close. Yeah, and you saw the one. It does feel like it has legs. It has outs. Dispatch is really strong in Modern right now. This deck can turn it on, 90% of the time very easily. Saga is very good. I like how the pieces fit together, right? The Saga tokens work great with Lava Spur, Shadow Spear, Nettlecyst, and Lightning Greaves. Stoneforge also works great with those, plus the Cauldra. Oswald works great with the 0 drops into the combo, right? But the biggest thing, I mean, we did it like 3 times, right? It's just turning a Darksteel Set It Out into a portable hole. It's just a really fun line, and very powerful when you're dealing with, frogs that you have to exile. Be great if Portable Hole could hit 3 or less. If there, I don't think there's any artifact that can hit. I think there is a 2-drop one, right? It's like a Silver Slipper or something like that can hit 3 or less, and so maybe it's worth playing one of those. Like turn a Star or a Sentinel or even a Shadow Spear into a exile your Oculus. I think that's a thing, but I'll put the link in here, and is it just Glass Slipper? Okay, it's not Crystal Slipper, so that's not the card I was thinking of. This isn't how you're supposed to do this. Well, I guess we'll do it together. Here we are. I'm already here. I might as well do this. Glass casket. It did have glass in it. Exile target. Yep. So that's what I was thinking of exactly. So maybe try one of these. Just because Oculus is so big. But none of these other. Would a Book of Exalted Deeds be worth it? No. We don't have gaining life. Cool. So that's my only thought so far. Obviously, my thoughts are based on the fact that I've literally faced Dimir Oculus decks 3 times in a row, and so it's like this list is decent into them. Like it feels closer to 50-50. It might even be in our favor a little bit. But we had some pretty clunky draws. And then, like I said, the one mistake that first matched, where it's just like if I had remembered that Manifest can be flipped up without me being able to respond, I had already seen Harbinger of the Tides. I would have just made my Construct token and been presenting lethal. But because they got to do that and get rid of my Saga before I made the token, I ended up always being 1 threat short as they top deck removal 3 turns in a row while beating me down with the Oculus. So it was like very weird end to that game. And even the match you guys saw, it felt very close and felt like we could win and were winning, and then we didn't win, just kind of barely got there. And I might, I'm not saying that, as always, I don't claim to be the best player or expert. It's very possible that if Spike was playing this, because he has a lot of experience with the deck and Modern in general, he might have won one of these 2 games. But I hope you have a great day.